Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore, and welcome to Mindfulness Hour. Once a week, where we take an hour together to do a longer meditation. Most of the time, we're doing 15-minute meditations. So the format is that we'll be just a short talk here for about the first 10 minutes of our time together. Then we'll spend 40 minutes meditating. This meditation today is going to be a body scan, and a little bit of a theme today is the grateful, gracious body scan. So as we bring attention, we will be bringing attention to various parts of the body, and as we do so, we will also maybe bring a little bit of gratitude to each part of the body that's there, because this is my body. These are all important parts of my body, and maybe when's the last time you really appreciated your big toe, your left big toe, right? It is instrumental to your being able to balance. So that's what we're going to do today. We'll talk shortly, but first I just want to say hello and greet everybody who's here. Today is the mindfulness hour. So what I wanted to do today as the intro is, we've been working on coming out of compassion. So we've done a few little pieces afterwards, we've done each of the pieces of the loving kindness meditation, which is first with self, and then move on to something that's easy to have unconditional love for, a good friend, someone that it already exists, that unconditional love. And then we move to a stranger, and then, which can be really hard to know how to connect to someone that you don't know. And then we move on to someone who's challenging, an enemy. And then move on to compassion to the whole world. And so as we go to enemy, maybe there's some questions. Why? Why should I bother inclining my heart to kindness towards my enemy? As we expand to the whole world, probably we come across some challenging times as we think about those less fortunate to us. So we've been working on all of this, and as we have done this, as we've worked towards those less fortunate, what kind of naturally arises is gratitude for my own situation. And so today's meditation is going to be focused on gratitude. So, and gratitude, we did talk about having a gratitude journal, writing something down every day that you're grateful for. But one thing that maybe passes through our minds, or maybe we ignore it completely, or it just never comes up, is that this body is working, that I'm alive. And the process of being alive is not something simple. There are hundreds of systems that are all working inside of, working together with each other, inside of you and outside of you. In the past, I used to work for an aerospace company in Shanghai, and that's one thing that I learned about airplanes flying, especially with all the electronics, that there are tons of systems inside of an airplane. And all of these systems are interconnected, and they all have to be functioning for the airplane to fly properly. Hydraulics, electronics, and all of these systems talk to each other and give feedback to one another. And to me, it's amazing that human beings are able to engineer something as complicated as an airplane, and that all of this stuff works together. Especially, what a huge, for an example, it's a huge organization, and multiple organizations that have to work together and talk to each other to design all of these components that work together. It is really amazing, but it pales in comparison to how the body works, and how that this being alive is still a mystery. We don't really know what constitutes the difference between what's alive and what's not, right? How does life come about? Human beings cannot artificially create life, right? We have to use components of things that are already alive to work with something that's alive, right? It's not something that we can generate ourselves. So it's vastly more complex. And besides life itself being complex, the brain, right? I heard a physicist once say, which I guess I don't know why a physicist is talking about the brain, but said, if the road to understanding the human brain is a mile long, we've walked down 3 inches of that road. It's extremely complicated. How does the brain regulate heart rate? How does the brain, something extremely simple. How do these things work? And, how do these systems know? And even neurotransmitters, we're just at the very tip of the iceberg of understanding. So I guess that's a long way to say that your body is amazing and a mystery. And if there's something to be, if you're struggling to find something to be grateful for, one thing to be grateful for is that all of this mystery is working, and that you're here, you're alive, you're breathing, and you have. That this is right. These hands. Maybe it's not so much of a mystery about how hands work, but when's the last time you were really grateful for your hands? That these 2 things here are integral into your interaction with the world around you. So how do you, how do we live without these? And just a little segue, as I was getting ready for this meditation this morning, I was researching about mindfulness and body scan for amputees, because I guess that's one area that I'm not such an expert on. I don't know how to, when we arrive with our body scan of the right hand, if you're an amputee and you don't have a right hand, what's the instruction for me as a meditation teacher? How do I bring you through that? So, and as well, like maybe you were born with 4 fingers instead of 5, right? As a meditation teacher, how do I bring you through that? So, if you happen to be an amputee, or maybe have less or more fingers or toes or organs, I'd love to hear your feedback. So feel free to write in the chat today. Just like to know, to have a few reference points. I do plan to ask my teachers from UMass, University of Massachusetts, and Brown what to do in the case of having amputees in our class. But it's something to be aware of. And if you're not an amputee, if you do have all of your fingers and toes and your arms and your legs and your ears, can you be grateful that you have them, and grateful for what these things do for you? Your left big toe is very important in your balance, and even if you're wheelchair bound, I think the idea of losing a toe still is not one that's incredibly pleasant. So that's what we're going to do today. Grateful of the body, grateful that this great machine, this vehicle for our existence in this reality is here, it's working, we're breathing, we're alive. As Jon Kabat-Zinn says, as long as you are breathing, there's more right with you than wrong with you, at least for the purpose of this practice. So, enough of my rambling. We're going to go ahead and get into the meditation. So, get comfortable. We're going to be together for 40 minutes. So, get comfortable in whatever way works for you. I'm going to be sitting so that I can project my voice better for you. However, most of the time when we first introduce participants to the body scan in mindfulness-based stress reduction, we encourage them to lie down. So if you would prefer to lie down, that can work. If you prefer to stand, that could work too, although I have to say 40 minutes of standing, for me, a person who's flat-footed, doesn't sound like incredibly sustainable. But whatever posture is going to work for you today. If you do choose to lie down, you might start to get sleepy. I would encourage you to have a light on above you so that you can, if you start to get sleepy, you can open your eyes and let that light kind of wake you up, so that this is an invitation to fall awake, not to fall asleep. So even though this meditation is designed to be relaxing, we're not trying to go to sleep. We're instead falling awake, falling into our being mode, letting go of doing, letting go of needing to be a particular way, seeing if instead we can be exactly who we are right now. And one more little disclaimer is, even though this meditation is designed to be relaxing, you may not find it relaxing. You may find that as you're in the meditation, maybe you're like trying to relax. Well, remember, trying to relax, trying hard, striving for things like relaxation or sleep is one way to make it go farther away. So instead of trying to relax, just being. And maybe through awareness you relax, and maybe you don't. So let's go ahead and get started. So find your posture, whatever it is. If you're lying down, I would encourage you to bring the arms alongside the body, not touching the body. Palms open toward the ceiling, legs slightly spread with the feet falling away from each other. Maybe having a pillow behind your head, otherwise your neck might start to hurt, or the back of your head will feel uncomfortable pressed against the floor or your mat even. And you may also want to cover yourself with a blanket, as being still for 40 minutes can really decrease the body temperature. And so getting settled in your posture, getting whatever little movements out that you want. Seeing if you can bring some intention to being still for the remainder of our practice. So in stillness, we disengage our voluntary movement. So another thing for our mind to be active about. So letting go of everything active that our mind could be engaged in, and just coming into this complete being mode and seeing what happens in the body, what happens in the mind. So here we are. Can you begin to feel the supporting surface pressing against your body? If you're lying down, noticing the heels, parts of the legs, the buttocks, the shoulder blades, the backs of the hands, the elbows, maybe part of the neck and the back of the head. And if you're sitting, noticing the pressure on the buttocks, maybe pressure on the legs or the feet. Holding attention here. Here where the body is being touched by the supporting surface. Seeing if you can drink in all of the details. Noticing where the supporting surface touches, where it tapers off. And then when you're ready, letting go of the supporting surface and your attention there. In guiding your attention, gathering up your attention, bringing it to the abdomen. Noticing how the abdomen moves. With each breath, expanding as you inhale, contracting as you exhale. If you're lying down, you may notice kind of this additional freedom. Without the weight of your upper body coming down, you may feel this a little bit of extra movement of the belly as it expands out on the inhale. Contracting back on the exhale, just watching this process as it repeats over and over again. Inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling at your own pace, not needing to follow along with me, just allowing your body to breathe all by itself. Your body has the wisdom to know when you need to inhale and when you need to exhale. Most of the time you aren't paying attention to it. So can you just let the body automatically breathe? And maybe begin to have some gratitude for your body and this automatic process that you don't have to think to keep yourself alive. That your breath already knows how to come in and go out. Happens automatically while you're sleeping. Happens automatically most of your day. Maybe bringing some gratitude to this simple but beautiful process, this exchange of gases between ourselves and our external environment. And on the next exhale, letting go of this place of the abdomen where we're breathing. And taking our attention and bringing it down the left side of the body, past the left hip, through the left leg, out to the left ankle, into the left foot, all the way out into the toes of the left foot. Again, staying still, not moving them, but seeing if you can bring your attention fully to the toes of the left foot. The big toe, the second toe, the third toe, the fourth toe, the little toe. What about the spaces between the toes? And what do you notice? How do you know that they're here? Just finding ordinary sensations. Could be warmth or coolness, tingling or itching, dryness or perspiration. Just seeing if there's some indicator that your toes are there. And if you try to pay attention to your toes and you can't, it's okay. No need to do anything. Just trying your best to pay attention to the toes. And so now on the next exhale, releasing the toes from awareness as we guide attention into the sole of the left foot, the ball of the foot, the arch, the outside edge, the left heel, the entirety of the sole of the left foot. The left ankle, the top of the left foot. So now, featuring our left foot center stage, the spotlight of awareness shining down on it, this very important part of the body, being aware of any physical sensations you may feel here. And on the next exhalation, letting go of the left foot. As we guide attention into the left lower leg, feeling the left shin, the left calf muscle, the inside of the left lower leg, the outside of the left lower leg. Holding it in your awareness. And on the next exhale, letting go of the left lower leg. As we guide our attention into the left knee, the left kneecap, the back of the left knee, the sides of the left knee, this very important part of the body, this part of the body that is responsible for most of us for our movement. So maybe it doesn't always work how we expect it to. Is it possible for you to feel into the sensations in the left knee and possibly even give some gratitude to your left knee? And on the next exhale, releasing the left knee from awareness. As we guide attention into the left thigh. Feeling these large muscles, the quadriceps, the hamstrings, the inner thigh, the outer thigh, these muscles here. The bone, the blood. And how useful this left thigh has been in my life. What have I been able to accomplish just through simple physical movement? So seeing if you can bring some gratitude to your left thigh. And on the next exhale, releasing the left thigh from awareness. As we scan our attention across the pelvis, from the left hip to the right hip, down the right side of the right leg, until we reach the right foot, around the right edge of the right foot to the toes, noticing the little toe, the fourth toe, the third toe, the second toe, and the big toe of the right foot. Noticing the spaces between the toes, can you bring your awareness fully into the toes of the right foot, feeling whatever sensations are here? And on your next exhale, letting go of the toes of the right foot and guiding awareness to the sole of the right foot, to the ball of the foot, to the outside edge, to the arch, to to the heel. And expanding awareness into the ankle, to the top of the foot. So is it possible for me to be aware of my right foot entirely and possibly bring some gratitude to this very important part of my body? Thank you, right foot, for being there for me, for helping me as I walk, as I run, as I swim, as I do all of the things that I've done with you, my right foot. And on the next exhale, releasing the right foot from awareness. As we guide attention to the right lower leg, to the right shin, the right calf muscle, the inside of the right lower leg and the outside. Bringing some kindness and some gratitude to this very important part of my body. And on the exhale, releasing the right lower leg. As we bring into awareness the right knee, the kneecap, the back of the knee, the sides of the knee. And this complicated joint, can I bring some gratitude to my right knee? Thank you, right knee, for your involvement in my life. So feeling the sensations here. And if there's pain, if there's uncomfortable sensations, if there's tightening, if there's tingling, if there's burning, can we simply be aware of that without having judgment about it, without having a narrative, without pushing it away? Can we roll out the red carpet for what's here? Welcome. And on the next exhale, releasing the right knee from awareness. Bringing into awareness the right thigh, the muscles of the right thigh, the bones, the blood. Again, seeing if you can bring some gratitude. Thank you, right thigh, for being here. As we notice the physical sensations. And on the next exhale, releasing the right thigh from awareness. As we concentrate our attention in the right hip, around to the back, to the right buttock, to the tailbone, and the left buttock, to the left hip, to the front of the pelvis and the pelvic bowl, the genitals, the perineum, the anus, holding the entirety now of our pelvis in awareness, noticing whatever sensations are here. And maybe having gratitude for this part of the body. Whatever memories you may have associated here. Just letting go, perhaps. And instead recognizing that the pelvis is necessary for our legs to be connected to, if nothing else. And maybe there's more to give gratitude for. So noticing the physical sensations here. And on the next exhale, releasing the pelvis from awareness. And from the tailbone, climbing up the spine, climbing up the vertebrae, vertebra by vertebra. Noticing as well, branching out to the lower back. Feeling the mid-back. The ribs beginning to come out of the spine, wrapping around the body. Noticing the sides of the body as well. Maybe you can begin to notice the breath. Can feel slight changes in the back and the sides of the body as you breathe. Noticing the upper back, the shoulder blades. And whatever sensations are here. So now, coming around to the front of the body, including as well the abdomen. Noticing the movement of the abdomen with the breath. Movement perhaps inside the digestive system. The other organs that are here. Gallbladder, liver. Perhaps in the lower abdomen, ovaries, uterus. Just feeling and seeing if we can have some gratitude for our abdomens and the organs inside. Organs that we likely ignore most of the time. We just take for granted that they're working. And maybe give some gratitude to these organs. The diaphragm, this muscle allowing us to breathe. and then moving up to the chest. Noticing the sternum, the ribs, expansion and contraction of the ribs as you breathe, the heart behind the sternum, pumping life-giving blood throughout your body. Maybe giving some gratitude to this hard-working organ that's been pumping, moving non-stop since before you were born. My heart. Maybe you can feel it beating, maybe you can't. Doesn't matter, just concentrating the attention there in the heart. The upper chest, the armpits, as we connect the side body, the back, the side body, the chest, the abdomen, holding it all in awareness. Feeling whatever's here, whatever you notice, movement, digestion, heartbeat, tightness. And on the next exhale, releasing the torso from awareness. Bringing attention to the left hand. Noticing the fingers of the left hand, the thumb, the index finger, the middle finger, the ring finger, and the little finger. The back of the hand, the palm of the hand. And then the left wrist. Maybe you can feel pulsations here. The left forearm. The left elbow. The left upper arm. The left shoulder. And holding now the entirety of the left arm and hand in awareness. Seeing if you can bring some gratitude to this important part of the body. Maybe you're left-handed. What has this hand done for you? Have you used this hand for love? To strike someone? To feed yourself? Oh, the richness of your life because you've had a left hand and left arm. And on the next exhale, releasing the left hand, the left arm from awareness. As we guide attention over to the right side of the body, down the right arm to the right hand, to the right thumb, the right index finger, the right middle finger, the right ring finger, the right little finger, noticing now the back of the right hand, the palm of the right hand, the right wrist, maybe pulsations in the right wrist, the right forearm, the right elbow, the right upper arm, the right shoulder. And so as we hold this right arm in its entirety in the right hand, maybe bringing some gratitude for all of the interaction that this arm and hand has allowed us to have with our world. Perhaps using it for writing as well, feeding ourselves, holding hands with someone. So intentionally bringing some gratitude for the richness of your life that your right hand and right arm has brought to you. And so just like sensations may be pleasant or unpleasant, just noticing them, being aware without judgment, as well as memories that may come up during our meditation. Just being aware, this is pleasant, this is unpleasant, without judging or grasping or pushing away. So now on the next exhale, releasing the right arm from awareness. And guiding attention from the shoulders into the neck, noticing the back of the neck, the muscles here, the vertebrae going up into the base of the skull, the front of the neck, the softer tissue, the blood vessels, the larynx, the throat, this conduit bringing air from the nose and mouth into the lungs, bringing food from outside of your body into your body, down into your digestive organs. And then on your next exhale, releasing the neck from awareness. As we guide attention into the face, starting with the chin. Noticing the chin, the jaw, the mouth, the lips, the teeth, the gums, the tongue, the throat, the opening to the throat. the cheeks, the ears, the sounds falling on the ears, maybe having some gratitude that you can hear. The eyes, the muscles around the eyes. If your eyes happen to be open, what your eyes are drinking in this moment. And maybe having some gratitude for the fact that you can see. Bringing attention to the eyebrows, the forehead, the temples, so holding the face now in awareness. The emotions shown outwardly on the face. These organs for sensory on the face. Can I have some gratitude for my face and everything here? My visage. My identity, how other human beings recognize me, my face. And so letting go of the face now on the next exhale, as we bring attention to the scalp, concentrating attention on the crown of the head, and bringing attention around to the back of the head, noticing the skull. Is it possible to be aware of the brain inside of the skull? And having some gratitude for everything here. And then on the next exhale, letting go of the skull and the scalp. And bringing into awareness the body as a whole. From the crown of the head to the tips of the toes, everything in between. Here is my body. Aware now of all sensations. And maybe having a bit of gratitude for this vehicle bringing us through this reality. Being human. So now congratulations for having made it through today's practice. Maybe take a moment to congratulate yourself, as doing this practice and others like it regularly is a way for you to take a more active role in your physical and your mental health. Maybe setting some intention to keep it up. So well done. And we'll close today's practice with 3 rings of the bell. So listen for the bell. When the sound of the bell subsides, feel free to start moving your body, stretching out in any way you like. right. Thank you all. Thanks for being here today. Grateful for you. Grateful for your participation in today's practice. So how'd it go? What was it like? Did you find it easy? Was it easy to be grateful for parts of your body? Were you able to tune in? Did you find it challenging to bring attention to various parts of the body? And what kind of memories came up? Were they pleasant? Were they unpleasant? There's more than, as we practice gratitude, there's a little bit more than simply present moment awareness there. So, what was your experience like? Have a look at the chat here. See what came into my mind as I was grateful for a lot of things. I'm left-handed, so I think going into the part about the left hand, I found a lot of memories came up. And I also find that I can tune in more easily to sensations in my left hand. It's a bit harder to feel the sensations in my right hand. I think that's part of being left-handed is I'm more connected to this hand than I am the other hand. And that's cool. I know I always feel really connected to other left-handed people. Thanks, Janice, for sharing. But yeah, just thinking about, I feed myself. Maybe that's one of the things that showed up was that, I use chopsticks. I use a fork. I eat with my hands, with my left hand too. So just a lot of that came up. And then, some other things that came up was that I can see, that I can hear, that probably most of you who are on here today also can see and hear. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on a live video stream meditation. So just thinking about that connection I have probably with all of you. And another thing that came up was that another yoga teacher friend of mine was in the tsunami in Phuket, if you remember. I don't know, it's been over 10 years now. There was that tsunami, and in Phuket, she was there. And, we didn't go through the whole story, but she lost her leg from the knee down. And so whenever I talk about amputees, I do, think about what that's like, what that was like for her, what that situation is like, how it feels to have had a part of your body, be used to having that part of your body for so much of your life and then it to be gone. So that also, when I was scanning down my right lower leg, I thought of her as Fiona. I'll say her name, Fiona, and just think about, that I grateful for Fiona, that I'm able to expand my own awareness through talking to her and understanding and what, going through that traumatic event as well. So Nathalie says, grateful for my health. Dirk says, my legs react always having pain by doing body scan. Thanks, Dirk, for sharing. And Jean says, I was able to give gratitude for my artificial knees without judgment for a change, and my monkey mind was wandering. I lost my whole right arm. Thanks, Jean, for sharing. And thanks, everybody, for being here. Tomorrow is my day off. I will be back on Monday. Monday is a little different. Instead of teaching a lesson, I'm just going to talk about the mindfulness daily practice. Some changes that I'm going to do for the daily practice, kind of related to what's been going on at Insight Timer. So be excited to share a little bit with you what's going on with Insight Timer and how it affects the daily practice. So take care, everyone. I'll see you on Monday, and I'll schedule some more meditations for next week as well, coming up soon. So before we go, let us share our well wishes with one another and with, of course, ourselves. So follow along if you like. May I be happy and peaceful. May all of you watching, listening, wherever you are, I wish you all happiness and peace. And may all sentient life in this universe of ours be happy and peaceful. All right, have a great weekend. See you next time. Bye-bye.